Good Day Tuesday, my friends. It is a good day, and we're going to talk about one of the stories from the Hebrew Testament. In fact, it comes from the book of Kings. I will share that with you. Let me say that on this 10-minute Tuesday, it's going to be fairly short, but this is a story that many of you know already, and you should know, because every lawyer, every attorney gets presented with this biblical story in law school. Let's understand that I'll read the scripture first, and then I'll go back and explain some things. One day, two harlots came to King Solomon, and one of them said, "Your Majesty, this woman and I live in the same house. Not long ago, my baby was born at home, and 3 days later, her baby was born. No one else was there with us. One night, while we were sleeping, she rolled over on her baby, and he died. Then, while I was still asleep, she got up and took my son out of my bed, and she put him in her bed. Then she put her dead baby next to me. In the morning, when I got up to feed my son, I saw that he was dead. But when I looked at him in the light, I knew he wasn't my son." "No," the other woman shouted, "he was your son. My baby is alive. The dead baby is yours." The first woman yelled, "Mine is alive." They argued back and forth for some time in front of King Solomon, until Solomon finally said, "Both of you say this live baby is yours. Someone bring me a sword." A sword was brought, and Solomon ordered, "Cut the baby in half. That way each of you can have part of him." "Please don't kill my son," the baby's mother screamed. "Your Majesty, I love him very much, but give him to this other woman. Just don't kill him." The other woman shouted, "No, go ahead, cut him in half. Then neither of us will have the baby." King Solomon said, "Don't kill the baby." Then he pointed to the first woman and said, "She is the baby's real mother. Give the baby to her." Everyone in Israel was amazed when they heard how Solomon had made this wise decision. Then he realized that God had given him wisdom to judge fairly. Now, let's look at this. First of all, some Bibles do not say that it was two prostitutes, two harlots that came to Solomon, but that's what the scripture says. These translations have sometimes at places just cleaned up the language. But the biblical story doesn't begin with these two women coming to Solomon. It begins with Solomon offering a great sacrifice. Soon after, God appeared to Solomon in a dream, promising him whatever he asked. Solomon first responds by describing his father David's greatness, then expresses his gratitude for being placed on David's throne, and admits that he is a mere child compared to David and David's great wisdom. So, after putting his own life in perspective, Solomon is then ready to ask for his gift. Solomon beseeches God for what he calls a listening heart, a discerning heart. It's what we would call today wisdom. Solomon says if he is given wisdom so that he can properly govern his people in his trust over that governance, then he will truly have discernment. God is pleased that Solomon seeks wisdom to discern between right and wrong and what is right, rather than simply asking for a long life or riches or wealth or seeking the death of his enemies. He seeks wisdom to be bestowed upon him. And it's only after this experience that Solomon's first test comes with these two women. Thus, the first step is preparing ourselves to mediate with a sense of humility. And Solomon had that. The attorneys in law school would say that if you are mediating a disagreement, you must come to it with a sense of proportion, a sense of humility. The role we play is the role of one who serves, not for self-aggrandizement. Solomon was king before he had wisdom, but his wisdom was the result not of his being king. It was something else he needed to be a genuine, fair ruling, faithful king. And so recognizing this in himself, he seeks God's gift to be bestowed upon him of that discerning heart. Discipline, to be patient, is required in making good, sound judgments. Then comes the lesson found in Solomon's dealing with these two women. Solomon's solution is to simply cut the baby in half and give each half to one mother. And then the true mother cries out, "No, don't kill the baby. Don't kill my baby. Give my baby to her," the other woman, the false mother. And then Solomon truly sees who is the genuine, real mother, the one who is, for her baby's sake, her baby's life, willing to give the baby up that the baby might live, even if it is in the arms of the false mother. And so Solomon rules, let the baby live. Give the baby to this mother, for she is the true mother. It's a great story. It's one that every church-going Christian, every faithful follower of God should know. It says that we too have an obligation to have a discerning heart, a fair, judgmental heart, not one that judges falsely, but one that seeks out the truth in our judgment. My friends, I pray that you have that kind of heart. I pray that this story has meant something to you. It is a great story in the Bible. Take care. Go forth with God's love and God's goodness in your heart. I'll see you on Funtastic Friday. Bye-bye for now. Run the race. Finish well.
Zadok, why are there so many people here today?
There is great interest in the next case, my lord. It came before the provincial governor of Gilead.
Old Ben-Geber?
The facts are simple, but the case very complex. Your judgment is eagerly awaited. My Lord King, the facts of this case are well established and are not in dispute. The two petitioners share a house on the outskirts of Gilead, where they ply their trade as prostitutes. Some 6 months ago, one gave birth, and shortly thereafter the second did likewise. Both had boy children. this dispute arose after one of the babies died. You may each state your case.
You go first, you lying cow. Then I'll tell the truth.
Well, we each have our own room.
Are you a citizen of this country? Yet you show no respect to your king? Now rise. State your name and the facts as you see them.
My name is Basma. It was just us in the house. Us and our babies. I'd gone to bed with little Joachim. That's his name.
Michael! Michael is his name!
Silence!
Me and Joachim went to sleep. And I'd given him a good meal. And he was a happy little baby. Well, that pig must have rolled on her baby and killed him. Because when I woke up, there was her baby beside me, dead. And my Joachim was gone.
Liar!
Silence!
A mother knows her own baby!
That is my baby!
Silence!
I'd pick him out from 1,000!
What is your name?
Hannah, my lord.
Tell your story, Hannah.
It's a pack of lies. She's clumsy enough to smother her own child and thinks she can get away with claiming mine. That's my Michael. And no woman or man on earth is going to take him away from me, Your Majesty.
That is for the king to decide.
Was no midwife present?
No, my lord.
Lay the child on that table. My judgment is this. Since both women claim the living child and neither claim the dead child, it is therefore fair that they should share the living child. So I will cut the child in half!
Spare my baby. Don't kill him. She could have it.
God bless this child!
God bless this child!
And his children's children!
And his children's children!
And most of all, his true mother.